Hi, how you doing? We're back with another live episode. I thought I would let's see, talk a little bit about what's going on with. Oops, hold on. It's going to be a very slow here to the show. I'm going to talk a little bit about, I guess, Halloween and horror and stuff like that. And I want to do maybe just a little bit of discussion of oh man, what's going on with like James Gunn, I guess, if you want to hear about it. I was going to talk about it on the real the weekly Manos, but we haven't done that show yet. Hey Marion, we just started. You haven't missed a damn thing. So yeah, we're gonna do a bit of a question and answer. Hey Mount Vernon kid, how you doing? I don't think you've done one of my live shows before. We're just gonna be sitting here and talking about some stuff. Maybe I'll be talking about a little bit of horror films. My friend Ian, who does Sid Part 2, he is doing a Halloween-themed month where he's doing fan film reviews of horror films, and we are doing reviews as well of horror movies. Today, he just posted a review with me, Comics Kid, and himself discussing a 1922 classic film, Nosferatu. We hope to give that film a little attention because people need to hear about it. But it's kind of nice. We have a little discussion about the film, and kind of get a little. It's interesting to hear somebody else talk about like something you always refer to as a classic. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. Hey, Sid Part 2's here. That's right. I'm plugging you, man. Yes. So I want to do some things here. I have Weekly Manos premiering. It's supposed to be premiering Monday, but I don't know. I'll probably premiere Tuesday because I have to work a lot. I'm working a lot, like all the time. Let's see. So what's going on here? We got a couple of things going on. We got what is going on? Like we got. I just saw the Aquaman trailer. Like I know it's late. I'm late to the party on this. Like the second Aquaman trailer, which pretty much it looks like the whole damn movie. It looks cool. I'm willing to give it its due. I mean, actually, I'm probably and want to see it. So that might be fun. But it does give away a lot. It does that rooftop chase. I mean, is that like the whole rooftop chase? It looks like they spoil the whole thing into that. Let's see. First off, how was the wife? Are you gonna check out the new Halloween? I initially wasn't because I'll be honest with you, Halloween is one of those franchises I've kind of like given up on. But I have seen the trailer for it and I am impressed with it. It does look interesting. They do seem to be pulling a Godzilla where they're just ignoring everything except for the first one. Which is pretty much the Godzilla design, actually. It's like, okay, fuck all these other movies. We're the only sequel. Let's see, what do we got here? You ever hear of the actor who portrayed Orlok? Let's see, went on to murder a woman named Selena. Actually, no, she survived because he didn't push her out of a high enough window. That is just an ugly rumor. I don't know where I'm pointing to. Hey, live! Look at that. So yeah, I think I'm now like excited to see Aquaman. I am interested to see Halloween. What the hell? I'll give it one more chance. Okay, this is your last chance though, Halloween movies, because you've been testing my patience. I gotta say, like, the best thing out of the Rob Zombie remakes is it ended the first series, which desperately needed to happen. So we'll see about that. I just, let's see, what are we talking about? We got the James Gunn firing and rehiring. I'll talk about this in the Weekly Manos. I'll get into it right here. Like, I'm going to declare this to be like the MCU's first real fuck up. And it's not even Kevin Feige's fault. He had nothing to do with it. And from what I understand, he tried to reverse it, at least the things I've been hearing. But yeah, this is a big mistake. The reason he was fired was from bullshit political reasons. They decided to stick with that firing. I guess it's one of those things like, oh, hey, we got to stick and commit to this mistake. And DCEU has wisely picked him up and possibly put him on the most correct film they could have. Because let's face it, when the first Suicide Squad came out, everybody was talking about, oh yeah, this can probably be DCEU's Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like, well, okay, now you got the real guy who made that. So that's looking like, let's see, if they were to rehire Gunn, what do you think the repercussion? I can't talk. Marion said if they were asked me if they were to rehire Gunn, what do you think would the repercussion? I can't say it. Would there be any like fallout? I'm gonna go no. I don't think there would be any like repercussions. Like what? They're gonna lose that guy who hated Gunn in the first place? Let me tell you. I mean, that was a political attack if I have ever seen one. So, no, they're risking nothing. I guess they feel. I guess they feel like they'd be losing face. Which, hey, lots of problems happen because people don't want to lose face. It's like, just lose face. And, because, like, look, if they rehired him, he made a great Guardians of the Galaxy 3, all the cast is happy, the movie goes on in history as a good film. Nobody cares 20 years. No one cares. Excuse me 1 second. My windows are open. There we go. Okay, here we go. I live in the city, so sometimes really loud, annoying train noises interrupt. When I record videos, I sometimes cut and start over with videos, which is annoying as hell. Let's see. Yeah, Wine on Periscope. Yeah, I mean, that one guy would be really mad. That one guy who, by the way, if you check out his Twitter, he says a lot of like pro-rapey things. So yeah, I don't think he was really offended. I seem to suspect that he wasn't really bothered. So yeah, I don't think anybody would care. And that's the thing that's frustrating about this whole situation is no one would care. It would be fine. So we'll see about that. This is, by the way, I don't know if you can hear the train going on in the background. Nothing I can do about it outside of calling them and telling them to stop with the train noise. I don't know if they would be happy with it. I don't know if they'd like that. Like, hey guys, trying to make a YouTube video. Could you like knock it off with the fucking train noise? I'm sure you all know you have a train there. You're all walking around it, so you don't have to keep beeping it. I don't think they would really be happy with that. Let's see. Mount Vernon Kid says, Dave Basita, let's see, would be Bane. Oh, yeah. Look, he is like all in his support with Gunn. And even if he stays and does the third Guardians film begrudgingly, yeah, he's on board with Gunn, and he would be a great Bane. That's almost like perfect casting for that. So he'd be wonderful. If Steven were to, oh yeah, Marion's asking me another Steven Universe question. If Steven were to die somehow, do you think the gems would still let Coney go on missions? That's a good question. I think she would, and I think they'd let her because she's been trained, and it would be their connection to Steven. So, yeah, they would keep doing that, but obviously not going to go in that direction for the series. I don't know if I have anything else on the James Gunn hiring, but look, yeah, I think it's over. I think DC like now has him. The end. So that was your mistake, Marvel. You That's one. 10 years. They didn't really have a real big major mistake. I mean, you could say like Iron Fist or Inhumans or anything like that, but those weren't really huge. It was kind of more misfires, those things that just didn't work. This was a mistake, and hey, 10 years is a good run before you make a big mistake. So it's not, and it's not like a franchise-ending mistake. It's not like he was making all the movies or the architect. Like if they had done this to Kevin Feige, yeah, that would be kind of a franchise killer. Um, but this is one talented filmmaker who's making one of the more solid film series within the franchise. Even with that, they can survive it. This is only a bump, but it's like can't keep making these kind of mistakes. Can you believe they're remaking Pet Sematary? Yeah, I can believe that. It's like, look, they're remaking Suspiria, so I can see anything. It's a Stephen King book. They've already remade it like Carrie like 80 times, so it wouldn't be surprising. Like in a lot of cases, I don't think they need it. Pet Sematary, while not best horror film in the world, it's like not really got any real problems. It's not like one of those things like, oh yeah, they needed to fix this movie and do something better. I'm like, no, it's good. Oh well, I don't know if time. I don't know if enough time has passed to really legitimize a remake. Sometimes I think if the film is like a real, I don't know, if it's really fucked up, if they made some severe mistakes in what was a cool idea, then yeah, go remake it in a few years. But I don't know, the film is pretty solid. Let's see. Do you think White Diamond? Oh, I should probably say all these people's names. Marion McDaniel, do you think White Diamond is going to be a force to be reckoned with? Yes, of course. Yeah, I think White Diamond is probably going to turn out to be the main antagonist for the whole series. In probably ways that the characters and the fans probably haven't even anticipated. So I'm very eager to see where we go from here. Let's see, Makua. Thoughts on the Shining sequel? Yeah, I heard about this. I'm not. Jury's still out for me. The Shining is one of my favorite films. I think it's an excellent piece of horror art. I absolutely love it. I guess it's not impossible to do a sequel to it with Danny being the focus. I believe, if I remember correctly, the book does kind of go into a little bit about Danny's future. I know the remake miniseries did. So, and also, this will probably be based on the Shining book. Stephen King has already done one focusing on Danny years later. So, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be meant to be a sequel to like the specific Kubrick version or just a general adaptation of the second book. It'd be cool if they can attach it to that version, but I don't know. I don't know what Stephen King's relationship is with the Kubrick version. I know he used to hate it. I know he used to combat it. So I don't know if he's like just accept it and go, look, okay, this is the film version everybody really likes, so might as well just go with it. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's probably going to be a general sequel to The Shining, or more or less an adaptation of the book. Let's see. Hey, it's Amatron. How you doing? What's your favorite Stephen King adaptation? That's from Mount Vernon Kid. Well, The Shining, which is hilarious because it's like probably one of the more looser ones. But outside of that one, I gotta say I really do love the original Carrie. I was a big fan of Christine. It was one of the first full-length novel I read as a kid that I didn't have to. I just wanted to read it. So yeah, I got a big place in my heart for that one. There was like a couple of the non-horror stories he did, like Green Mile and Stand By Me are really great, and Misery's really good. So yeah, I think a lot of my favorites aren't really that far away from a lot of other people's favorites. Let's see, what do we got here? Saying, people say Steven Universe had the first gay marriage in kids cartoons. Rabbit Seville did it first. Let's see. Yeah, it's more about. I think that was more of what do you call it? Catfishing? What do the kids call it these days? Yeah. Let's see. Favorite Stephen King adaptation for me? This is from Omnitron. Would have to be The Mist. Oh yeah, The Mist. And Creepshow is a second. I tend to not count Creepshow because I don't think it's not based on a Stephen King novel. He did work on the film, so it does kind of fall into a Stephen King film. It's not really based on one of his novels. But yeah, The Mist is really good. Man, I love that ending. Man, what a fucking ending that was. Let's see, Marion. Markuro, Brian De Palma, Carrie, Shining, Christine, Shawshank, Green Mile, or among my favorites. Yeah, I mean, these are all great. Let's see. Mount Vernon Kid says Sleepwalkers. I have never seen Sleepwalkers. I know it has a bit of a reputation, but I almost went to see it a couple times because, Alice Krige is in it, and I really like Alice Krige. I think she's a really underrated actress. She's in a film called Ghost Story, which is really good. I do recommend that, where she plays Ghost, killing old guys out of revenge for what they did to her when she was alive. So it's fun. There's some really creepy moments in it. And of course, she is the Borg Queen too in First Contact. But yeah, I don't know. She's not in enough movies for me. Did you know, Omnitron, did you know the Mist ending was amazing when King said he wished he had thought of doing it? It's like, yeah. It's like, shit. Didn't think about that. Let's see. Makur, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Favorite David Lynch, if you ever liked his stuff. Oh boy, do I like David Lynch stuff. All right, not counting Twin Peaks, which I'm a big Twin Peaks fan. I would probably. All right, here's the day. I haven't seen all of David Lynch's films, but I've seen Blue Velvet, not to be confused with Blue Thunder. Blue Velvet, Wild at Heart, Fire, Walk with Me. Lost Highway, Mulholland Drive, and those are the ones those are the 5 I've seen. I still haven't seen a couple others he's done, like Elephant Man, and I still haven't seen Eraserhead. I need to see Eraserhead. Out of those, I guess, Mulholland Drive. With a close second of Blue Velvet. Blue Velvet's fantastic. I do recommend that film. Some of Lynch's films are hard for people to get into, especially his later films where it gets really surreal. And I understand, look, I love his films, but I understand that's not for everybody. So I get it. Blue Velvet is definitely more of a conventional Lynch film, so people can get into. But Mulholland Drive is just, there's some wonderful creepy moments in it, and it is haunting. I mean, it's stayed with me for a few days straight as I thought about the film. And that's one of the things I like sometimes, is that he really does challenge you. Like there have been several times, that's crap. That's terrible. It's Lynch trying to be weird. And I start thinking about what's in the film, and I realize that it hasn't let me go yet, and I'm still thinking about it. And okay, maybe he's not being pretentious for pretentious sake. Maybe it really is trying to, get to me in different ways than other filmmakers. I didn't like Lost Highway when I first saw it, but now I love it, and that's kind of how it is. I kind of like a lot of filmmakers, good or bad. You watch their films and okay, good, I like it. I'm done. Oh, I hate it. I'm done. Lynch is a filmmaker that I keep thinking about his work, and a lot of his work inspires me. It inspires me in my writing, and my writing. If you like read Red Knight or Devita, or you'll realize no, I don't see any David Lynch influences in that, but there are some. I mean, he does kind of he's enlightened me on some ways of writing character and approaching certain subjects. Let's see. I've kind of skipped over some stuff here. Let's see. Omnitron. If they were to, with all the live action Disney remakes going on, what would you have done? Mine would have been Hercules. They're actually remaking my first choice, and that's Mulan. I love Mulan. I love that film. I also love the story and the myth and folklore surrounding Mulan. I would love to do like a Mulan story. I've actually considered, if I had the wherewithal, if I had the ability to do a Mulan comic, I would have done one already. I just don't have I don't have the time, and I'm still busy making my own stuff. But I would love to do my own take on that story. So yeah, that would have been my first choice, and they're doing it. It feels like they're doing. It seems like Disney has gone into during the '90s, they were making direct-to-video sequels to their films, and now they've you can just make super expensive live-action remakes of the same things. Let's do that. So it feels like we're in this phase. I actually preferred when they briefly were trying to do different twists on these stories, like the original, like the Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland and the Angelina Jolie Maleficent, which were twists on the stories, because that at least gives us something new to look at. And then I guess they had a lot of complaints about those, of Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella, or pretty much direct adaptations of those films. So I don't know. Hey, look, if people like them, they like them. Let's see what's going on here. Mount Vernon Kid. Do you feel today's horror films are more avenue of gore and violence to scare people than more of suspense? I don't know. I do feel like things are changing. I've seen a lot of horror films that deal with actual real suspense. I've noticed over the last few years there has been a resistance to the jump scares and the torture porn, which was a big favorite during the 2000s. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the horror going on in the 2000s. The 2000s are still better than the 90s. Horror films in the 90s were kind of few and far between, and they sucked. There were only a few spotlights in that decade. There's a lot more in the 2000s, but yeah, there was a lot of stupid jump scares disguised as actual tension and gore. I'm not a big fan of torture porn, because I don't think it has any suspense to it, and it's not fun. It's not fun to watch. Let's see, but yeah, I feel like we're getting closer to that. Look, there are always going to be people who love the stupid roller coaster ride, jump scare, loud things, horror movies, and that's just it. That's if they see a movie like I Am the Pretty Thing that lives in the house they'll consider that a bad horror film and a failure because it wasn't loud and stupid and didn't have super fast pacing. That's just how it is. I prefer my I prefer horror films to, yeah, it can have gore. I'm not against gore. But I do like suspense a lot. I do like films that kind of stick with you. Um, like Babadook and It Lives and It Follows. Those films kind of stay with you. Let's see. No Love Hunchback from Disney. Um, yeah, Hunchback is really good, and I think Lindsay Ellis just recently not recently, a couple months ago, did um a video about that, and she's right. It's really great, and I think people kind of got the hint that it was good, but I hope that more people start revisiting it because it is really great. I mean, the stupid gargoyles are annoying, and they have nothing to do with the movie. But I mean, if you overlook them, it's a really great film. It has wonderful score. It's beautiful looking, and it has some really dark places it goes to. Um, it'd be funny for them to remake it because, like, well, that's already a existing franchise. Like, that gets remade every so often, adapted every so often. So this would be like a new take on it. I don't know. I I don't know if they should do that or not. Maybe it might be a big cultural acknowledgement that the original is great. So I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't be a bad idea. Omnitron. I also wish there'd be a series of movies based on the chronicles of. Let's see. Oh yeah, the Black Cauldron. I'm a big fan of remaking things that don't get enough love. That maybe like a remake does kind of revisit, and you can get a chance to take another stab at a like a piece of work. And Black Cauldron would definitely be let's take another shot at it. That was supposed to be the film that was going to relaunch the Disney animated studios, and it failed. Taking a few more years until like Little Mermaid was able to do it. Let's see. Do you think the death of Stephen would? Man, Marion, you really want Stephen to die. Let's see. Do you think the death of Stephen would split the gems up for a time? And who do you think would be the one to talk sense into them? Let's see. Would this be the last time we'll talk about the death of Stephen? Let's see. It would either be Connie or Emma or Greg. If they ever do, I would be I think I mentioned this to you before, but it would be really interesting if they did a story arc, or at least one episode, where the Gems thought Stephen was dead and what they would do. And we could do it like one of those things where Stephen can astral project and see, so we get to still follow along with the usual format of the series where it's all witnessed through Stephen's eyes. So that would be cool. Let's see. Oh, wait, I have a message. Help for review. Let's see. Let's see. Omnitron is accusing Marion of plotting to assassinate Stephen. I will back you up, Marion, as far as not doing it, but we're watching you. Let's see. So I'm sorry, I love Stephen. I just got carried away on this. But there's still no word. Since we're talking a little bit about Steven Universe, I guess I'll get into it a little bit. There's still no word on when the last couple episodes of season 5 will pick up. I mean, it may either be sometime in November or we're done for the rest of the year. I wish they would just get these last few episodes out. I do see the way they do sometimes, because like the next Stephen Bond will probably pick up and then we'll go right into season 6 and maybe resolve a few episodes. I don't understand Cartoon Network's method of release episodes, but it's kind of the situation we're into. So yeah, I think that's probably going to be what we're going to see. We're probably going to see the last few episodes of season 5, and then we're going to have that cliffhanger, and then we're going to go right into the cliffhanger's resolution with the next couple episodes of season 6, and then take a break for 18 months or whatever the hell. That's kind of my theory right now. This hiatus is killing me. I also am getting a hiatus hernia, but I've gotten used to them, and thankfully I can go back and like rewatch episodes on Hulu, um, and just kind of sit and wait. I've just gotten way too used to them. Let's see. It was interesting to see. Oh, here we go. Hereditary was an interesting film to see with an audience in the theater since it was not super jump scary, much more mood and atmosphere. Yeah, I haven't seen Hereditary. I definitely want to. It's definitely on my list. Um, I actually recently put Mother on my watch list on Hulu, and I'm very interested to sit down and watch that film and see what was the thing that either excited people or pissed people off, because that movie really did split people. So I'm curious to see, okay, what was the thing that really made people mad? I mean, it's a movie no one's heard of. It's not like a Star Wars movie where we all have our preconceived notions. Um, okay, why were people mad? I don't know. I'm curious to check it out. Hereditary, I've heard some great things about it. So that looks more like a pretty conventional film that really builds atmosphere and goes into some creepy areas. So I definitely want to check that out. Let's see, where are we here? Mount Vernon's kid, he follows me on Twitter, so he knows that. He also follows me on Facebook. He saw me mention something about Marvel Rising, and he said, "Are you watching Marvel Rising? I like it." Yes, I am. I haven't been able to watch. I haven't been able to keep track of when it airs, so I kind of watch it when I get to see it. And what I've seen has been really good so far. Because all right, Disney like canceled when they bought Marvel. They did kind of like rush into cancellation. The existing Marvel cartoons, the Spectacular Spider-Man and the Avengers, Earth's Mighty Heroes, which did not exactly excite fans because those are really good shows and probably the best cartoon versions of those Marvel characters. But I understand those were different studios doing shows, and Disney is Disney, and they want to do their own. So I can respect that. The problem with the shows they've replaced them with so far have been kind of like, they exist, and I don't think they're as bad as some people say. Some people really like rip into them, but they remind me of the old '80s Marvel Sunbow cartoons, like Amazing Friends and the Hulk, and the Spider-Woman cartoon, in that they're serviceable. They put the characters in adventures, and then the end, and there's really nothing really spectacular about them. There's not a Batman animated series in this bunch. And likewise I mean, it really does feel like the Marvel Sunbow cartoons just kept on going into the 2010s, and that's it. But the Marvel Rising show, I've been watching it, and I don't know. There does seem to be more of an enthusiasm for the characters. They seem to be trying something a little bit harder. It seems a little more ambitious, which the animation doesn't really look that much different than the other Marvel shows. So I mean, it's pretty on par with that, which is fine. I don't have a complaint about that. But yeah, it really does seem like they're trying harder, and I appreciate it. The humor is actually kind of funnier. I just recently watched the Avengers episodes with Black Panther, which were also just good. Just it's like watching good GI Joe episodes. It's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. I'm just kidding, of course. There are no good GI Joe episodes. So yeah, Marvel Rising has been impressing me so far. I mean, it's not Justice League Unlimited, but it's pretty enjoyable. When I sit down and watch it, I like it. Let's see. Where are we going here? Where are we going? Let's see. Oh, Makura. I also saw it right after Incredibles 2, which is perhaps the most dramatic tone shift ever. Yeah. Yeah, Hereditary and Incredibles 2 are probably two very, very, very different films. Yes. Yeah, let's watch Say Anything in a Suburban film back to back. Let's go. All right, Omnitron. I think Friday the 13th reboot was definitely better than the Nightmare Elm Street reboot, since it gave us classic Jason Voorhees, no action no most. Yeah, yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I'm not a Jason fan. I'm not a fan of the franchise, but I know what works with that character. I know what works with Friday the 13th, and yeah, it definitely tried. I mean, it was like a lower bar, and they were able to leap over it pretty easily, I thought. I like the idea of kind of combining first couple of Jason films together so we can get to like maybe the one with the hockey mask that we all really appreciate. And there's some things I respect about what they tried in the Nightmare reboot, but yeah, it was a near miss. And hey, you win some, you lose some. That would probably be my tagline for that film. Nightmare on Elm Street. You win some, you lose some. Come Christmas. All right. Let's see. Makura. I enjoyed Mother, but I understand complaints because the allegory is pretty obvious. I have feelings where the thing is how the film ends, just from what I hear, but I don't want to think about it too much because I do like it when I get to see a film and get surprised, which, to be honest, is not all that often. Let's see, Marion, how would you do a crossover between Steven Universe and the Babadook set in the early days of the Death of Rose? Well, Pearl would definitely be the one haunted by the Babadook. That's pretty much, you can pretty much do that, like replace those characters with that. Omnitron. The issue with Nightmare reboot is that they altered Freddy too much for him to work. Yeah, it's not a serial killer. So where do the claws come from? Things like that. It was one of those things where, I don't know, a couple of choices in that worked, but yeah, a couple of them don't. The burn makeup, I appreciate that they were trying to do more realistic, but it really did kind of downgrade his effectiveness. And I don't know, the film kind of tried hard in the wrong ways and didn't try enough in other ways. It's like it's frustrating when you see a film that's like, you almost got it. It's like, you're almost there. Damn it. Okay. Which is too bad. They cast really well for new Freddy. And also, like, I'm more of a fan of creepy Freddy than cartoony Freddy. So I really appreciate that attempt. But let's see. Nightwing 4077. How would you do a Steven Universe Doctor Who crossover? I have no idea. There's some kind of crossovers I never really think about. Like, how would they meet? Doctor Who could definitely get them off the homeworld. That'd be cool. But let's see. Oh, I mean, geez, he's time traveler. Would definitely he could have Steven visit the Gem War. For maybe to achieve some sort of purpose, and we get to see Steven's reaction to seeing that stuff. And of course, we would get to see a scene where Steven meets Rose for real. I think that's pretty much what I would do with it. Let's see. Makura. I think that a twist they should do for the new Nightmare film is that Freddy was innocent of the crime that the parents burned him for revenge, to make him more sympathetic. That would be interesting, although he would still be killing teenagers out of revenge. So yeah, you can only make him so sympathetic. But that actually would be an interesting twist. And also, you could make it. What's cool is you could make it a murder mystery of, like, let's say Nancy is, investigating. Okay, like we got this nightmare killer, Freddy, who was killed by her parents for killing kids, but oh shit, he wasn't really the guy, but he's killing out of revenge. Who's the real guy? Maybe if I find the real guy, Freddy will stop killing us. Yeah, that's actually a really cool idea. I'd have to be careful to make that not too much going on, or overly complicated. But yeah, that's actually a pretty cool premise for the remake, for a new remake. Well, we got to do a new remake because, the last remake went away, and I'm pretty sure the original series should stay. Should stay done. I'm a fan of just we'll just take a few more years break from Freddy and maybe try again. Let's see. Though I will say the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot was really good. Yeah, it wasn't bad. What are your thoughts on the Babadook film and the creature himself? I am a big fan of the film. I think it's really disturbing and creepy. And Essie Davis is just an amazing actress, and this is the first time I've ever seen her in anything. You can also find her on Netflix in Miss Fisher Murder Mysteries, which Lindsay introduced me to that. I'm really loving that show. And also, man, if you watch Babadook and Miss Fisher, you'll realize, like, holy shit, like, Essie Davis is an amazing actress, because she sells that movie so hard, and that creature is, I love the design of that creature because he's kind of the London after midnight kind of design, and him sneaking around your house at night is not fun for you. I absolutely love it. There's a couple of things. He has a roar that I don't think works. That little roar, because I've seen that. I've heard that sound effect in other films and cartoons, and I don't think it matches well. I don't think it works. I think they maybe should have tried to create their own sound for it, because I've heard that roar in a Steven Universe episode, for God's sakes. There is a monster Garnet fights in the arcade episode where Garnet gets, like, addicted to that video game. The monster she fights at the beginning of that episode has the same roar. And it's like, oh man. It's like, well, that makes the Babadook a little less scary when I hear that sound. But otherwise, it's absolutely a brilliant film. And that's a minor nitpick. Let's see. Where are we here? So happy to have so many people here today. Let's see. We see franchises do more prequel. Do you feel it's healthy for a franchise? Yes and no. Sometimes it does feel a little unimaginative. Sometimes it feels like they're afraid. Look, fans lose their shit over everything. Let's just face it. So it does feel like an easy go-to for creators if they don't want to muck with the direction of the franchise. So, okay, let's go further backwards. Star Trek's doing that a lot. Like, oh, we don't want to fuck around with, the regular timeline, so let's do this own timeline, and then Star Trek Discovery is vague about which timeline it belongs to. I don't know. It feels like it's been a little overdone, and it seems like we're so afraid to touch anything now. Like, we still want to touch the franchises and keep them going, but we do it in such like a sensitive, walking on eggshells kind of approach that no one's happy anyway. So let's just go for it. Let's see. Mount Vernon Kid, I got a recommendation for you. When I was at New York Comic Con, I talked to Jim Zub. Cool. He is doing, if I'm not mistaken, he's doing the current run on Champions, which I like a lot. I brought this creative title, Glitter Bomb. I bought this his creative title, Glitter Bomb, Prime Mystery. Okay, I'll check it out. I've been digging. If that's the guy, I think it is. I think it's the same Jim Zub who's been doing Champions, who's replaced Mark Waid. I've been liking his work. This is the first chance I've really like read his stuff, and I'll check out his Glitter Bomb horror comic. I guess it's a horror comic or whatever it is. I'll look. Glitter Bomb is kind of easy to remember, so I'll look that up. That's a really cool title. My Omnitron. My wife once had an idea that Freddy begins killing for revenge, but becomes a vengeful spirit. Where if someone is bullied, begins slaughtering their bullies, possibly even the victim if they resist. That's a cool idea. Him becoming kind of some spirit of vengeance that doesn't have any kind of morality. So it'd be easier to make that step to rooting for him, but you really shouldn't root for this guy. We got into like the end of the original series where people are kind of rooting for him a little bit too much. It's like it's not that he's not that sympathetic. So but him kind of going in that direction would be interesting, because he would be kind of a weapon to really use in that manner. Let's see. Yeah, Markura, beat the meat. Yeah, I'll wait until I'm done with the live show. Let's see. Marion. I've heard the theory that the Babadook is an embodiment of grief. Do you agree? Yeah. That's actually an interpretation I've heard before, and I think he is a creature attracted to grief or attracted to some sort of extreme emotion to take advantage of, and then use that to maybe like cultivate the victim. So yeah, that's kind of what I feel. I love the fact that the film goes really vague on his origins and what he is specifically. I think sometimes horror over-explains, and horror and comedy, I think, are very similar, in that if you over-explain a joke, you kind of ruin it, and I think that is the same way with horror. Let's see. Oh, Omnitron. Also, Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, and its sequel, Nightmare Warriors, basically had Freddy as Bill Cipher. I am not lying, and the plan is to literally do the same as Bill's. Yeah. I've heard of that. I haven't read it, but yeah, he kind of fits into that type. Bill and Freddy do have some things in common. They're also kind of similar to Bob from Twin Peaks, which I'm a big believer that Bill is partly influenced, inspired by Bob. Let's see. The episode censored in the UK, and that was horseshit. Oh, yeah. I assume you're talking about the Steven Universe episode. You know, the UK, I'm confused by the Brits, because they do seem more open and relaxed about concepts and ideas than we do. And then they do weird censorship because they feel like, oh, that's too upsetting. Like, I don't know. I don't understand. And it always seems to be weird things. Like, I remember in the early 90s during the Gulf War, there was a list that they gave radio stations of songs not to play because they might be too upsetting for people who are sort of involved and have families like fighting in the Gulf War. And one of those songs was I Died in Your Arms Tonight, which, okay, does not make any sense because, okay, yeah, a loved one dying. Okay, I get that, but they're over in Iraq, not here in England with you, so they can't die in your arms. Number two, the song is about climaxing and dying in your arms in that way. Like, oh, that was great. I don't know. It's like they didn't bother reading the lyrics of the song. They just read the title. And England, I don't know, with their censorship does that kind of weird shit. Censorship is weird. Let's see. Mark Vernon Kidd. I was watching Ghost Rider last night on AMC, and let's see. I still like it. My only nitpick is still mainly Blackheart. Um, let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's some things I like about the Ghost Rider movie. Boy, and that, like I was talking about, Black Cauldron. There's just and the Nightmare Before Elm Street remake is that, man, there's some really interesting ideas here, and I like that some of the stuff they did almost like had kind of a Universal Wolfman movie kind of quality. And Nicolas Cage really kind of like really has fun with the role. One of my favorite things is the fact that he is so like on edge uh, and terrified of what's going on in his life. He has dedicated watching stupid movies about monkeys playing with martial arts, and he just uses that to unwind. I love that part. Um, let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, Marion, which slasher could work in a war setting? Ugh. Mm. That's a cool question. I'm a big fan of film noir, and ugh, man, um, hmm, I may have to think about that for a minute. That's a good question. Let's see. Mercure, I hope Reunion is intact. I'm very interested to see how Reunion works. I haven't heard anything yet. I don't know if this episode is shipped to all the countries yet, because it's been a few weeks, so maybe it has been, but we haven't got word back. Be curious to see how it's dealt with in Russia and England, who are terrified of gay kissing. Let's see. Oh yeah, the jelly bean cocktails. Yeah, the British are notoriously stuffy. Yeah, I don't understand the Brits sometimes. Like sometimes I think I got it. Like, okay, I know how you guys act. And then they do something really, I don't know, just odd, and I don't kind of understand them again. Let's see. Maybe it's overt sex. They don't. I think they do. I think I think British stuffiness. I think if you need to understand it, I think watch like the old Monty Python show. I think they make fun of that a lot in the old show, and I don't think things have changed all that much since the early '70s. So maybe that's a good way to get into the mindset, like what they're making of. Probably is still sticking. Marion, could Bill Cipher work as a villain to Steven and the Gems? What do you think he would do in a mess where if he would have messed with him? Constant. Yeah. Bill Cipher would make a great villain for Steven and Crystal Gems. I love seeing the Gems deal with non-gem threats. Like we got the Uncle Grandpa episode, which a lot of people hate, but it really is cool seeing them deal with something not gem. And the recent crossover Nexus, where you see Garnet fight, somebody completely alien to what she usually fights. That was really cool. So he would definitely manipulate Steven in ways that we've already seen him manipulate Dipper and Mabel. He would definitely use those tactics on Steven. Steven is definitely a more intelligent person than he was at the beginning of the show. He is still a very trusting person, although I don't know if he is as willfully ignorant as he once was. Like, I don't know if Bill would show up and he'd be like, oh yeah, this is a guy I can trust. Bill would probably have to do that thing he did when he tricked Mabel, is like completely go in disguise as someone else. Like, he would trust someone who looked like, he would trust his dad, or he'd trust Connie, or one of the Gems. Bill would totally do that. Let's see. Mount Vernon Kid, I never asked you, but you are a pro wrestling fan. I was when I was 12, and about around 12, 13, I got out of wrestling, and I never went back to it, ever. Unlike some other things, like when I was 12, I wanted to be a man, or be an adult. Adults don't like kid stuff anymore. And I did that for a couple of years, and I realized, oh, fuck it, I like comic books. I'll keep watching cartoons. Wrestling was the only thing I never went back to. That's just it. It's like it just seemed a little bit too silly to me to really kind of get back into. I do respect the theater of it, and I do respect that it is. There's a lot of like physical performance in it, and a lot of great like crowd manipulation. So it is really like a theater of the absurd. And I gotta say, like every once in a while, I watch clips on YouTube of Vince McMahon, and he is hilarious. The clip where he reveals himself as a mystery villain or something like that and yells, "It's me, Austin." I don't know the context of that, but I really enjoy that. That still makes me laugh when I see it, when I think of it. Blah, 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 blah. Marion, what slasher would you go? What slasher would go toe to toe with Pearl in a fight? Uh, I could go for Pearl fighting any of them, really. I mean, Pearl would kick their asses. Um, Pearl would kick the shit out of like Michael Myers pretty easily, and Jason. Not to mention Leatherface. They all be pretty easy. The only one who would really give her like a real trouble would be Freddy. But she doesn't sleep, so we would have to have a reason for her to go to sleep to. I think that would be kind of the most interesting. Where are we? Okay, Omnitron. 28, soon to be 29. I've never developed adult tastes. Yeah, I never have to. Yeah, look, man, I'm like, I'm 47. I'm about to be 48, and now I'm got 6 more months. No, I got longer than that. I turned 48 in May. I've never stopped loving this stuff, and I don't see any reason why. It makes me happy. So, yeah, enjoy it. That's my advice, and I feel like it's kept me young. I feel. I have some friends. I have a mixture in ages of friends. I have some friends who are like really in their early 20s, my own age, people a little bit younger than me, and it's really interesting because I have a couple friends who are my age who hate everything new, and it's so irritating. Because I see people younger than me who hate everything new, and I'd rather be the person who embraces new stuff and gives stuff a try. I'd rather be that and be disappointed from time to time than completely miss out on cool stuff just because, I was a big grouchy pants. And there's really no reason to like this kind of stuff and be into geek culture and fan culture if you're not willing to be a kid. Let's see, where are we here? Marion, if Freddy got into Pearl's dream, what could... let's see. Marion asks, if Freddy could get into Pearl's dream, what would he do to traumatize her? And my question is, what couldn't he do? Good Lord. Pearl seems pretty easy to traumatize. Like, she has been on the edge for a while. And yeah, he could definitely use anything involving Rose, anything involving Steven. She practically did that to herself in the one time she dreamed. So yeah, she'd be easy pickings for Freddy to deal with. That's why I think that would be probably a really interesting and fascinating challenge for her. Let's see, Omnitron. I'm a 5'11" dude with a full beard and who will get into an argument with an 8-year-old on the dynamics between the current Ben 10 and the original series. Yeah. You have to like learn. There have to be moments where you go, okay, I need to back off here. Because I've almost found myself in that situation. Like, oh boy, okay, we'll just agree to disagree, 9-year-old. Oh, excuse me for a second. Let's see where we're going on here. There's there's some comics coming out this week. I bought a few cool comics. Bought the new Amazing Spider-Man. I bought Miss Marvel, and I got Avengers. I'm really enjoying those books. Let's see. We got any? We don't have any new questions right now. Oh, I'm really enjoying those books. I think I gotta say I really do like. The Shocker was just done. They just did this like story arc where Shocker was in Jersey City because he got tired of getting his ass kicked in New York. So I was like, hey, it's only one stupid young teenage hero. Let's see. Hold on. So I'm gonna go kick her ass and take over. So that was really fun. Hey, listen, we're getting into like an hour here, and bad news. According to my phone, I'm about to lose power, so I'm gonna have to like cut the show down to just another minute. I'm do two quick questions. That's it. Omnitron, I think I might be skipping Supergirl season except for the crossover parts. I still want to check it out. I'm behind on the show, so I need to catch them up. I'm definitely checking out the crossover and that with the Batwoman stuff. Mount Vernon Kid, I'm going to reveal a secret about me. Of all movie creatures, I'm so traumatized and scared of the facehuggers from the Alien franchise. To this day, yeah, I mean, yes, that's true. Those are always keep stuff away from your face. Rule number one with animals. And okay, one more. And I think Pearl would be disturbed by Michael Myers just because he can take injuries that would kill a normal man, and not die. I'd still think she'd pound him pretty bad. All right, hey, this is great as always. This is another episode of Real Live Manos where I talk about stuff or just answer some questions. So you can follow me on Real Manos on Twitter. I'm also on Facebook, Real Manos. I have an Instagram, The Real Manos. And if you want to support this channel, please do on my Patreon. It's Patreon Justin Cristelli. You can pretty much find me easily. And Red Knight is coming soon to Short Fuse. Don't have a date yet, but I hope to get a date soon for the re-release of the series. Until then, join Red Knight on Facebook for the new Here's International Kickstarter that Short Fuse is doing. I'll put that all in the credits, especially if you're watching this recorded afterwards. So I'm going to get going. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Like, subscribe to this video, and click the notification bell so you can get notifications about when I post new videos. All right, so I'm going to get going, and good night.